Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Jelly from Last War here, and I'm back with yet another tutorial video, this time for my beginners or new players that have yet to play VS, or even for my veterans that are curious about how to maximize their score or their points for VS weekly, and how to make sure that they're hitting their boxes day in and day out. I do, again, want to say thank you all so much for your support on my last 3 videos. Thank you for everything that you guys have done for me, commenting, liking the videos, subscribing to me. It all means so much to me, and it does help me out tremendously. So if you're here still, click that red subscribe button. It is free for you guys. It does help me out a lot. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's talk about what VS is, what it does, how to do it, and what it gives. So firstly, VS, or Alliance Duel, is your alliance versus another alliance getting matched up going head to head, and whoever scores more points for that day wins. And whoever scores 7 points for the week wins. There's 13 total points, so the first one to 7 wins. This is a 6-day event, and each day has something unique about it, or it is a different type of thing that you should be doing, or the day is a cumulative of what has happened already throughout the week. Now, in this example, my alliance is losing to another alliance from a different server, and that is exactly what's going to be happening. You're not going to win every VS unless you're a super alliance, but you're also going to be facing different alliances from different servers. Your first couple of alliance duels might be intra-server or in-server, meaning that you'll face somebody from within your own server, but after that, you should strictly only face people out of server unless there happens to be an overlap in the game's mechanics. This event is permanent, so the second that it starts at week 3, I think it is up here, it started day 18 for us, so almost week 3. It pretty much goes on forever. I think there's a very few weeks that we actually have off that you're not participating, but otherwise it's a permanent event that's there forever, so these rewards that you get are there forever. So each day is kind of unique, as I was saying earlier, in that it has different things that you have to do. So for example, I'm in day 2 right now. Day 2 is base expansion. So my entire prerogative to score points today is by doing these things that are here on my screen right now. I'm going to do a deep dive into what each day is and how to really maximize your points for those days in just a little bit. I just wanted to give you guys kind of a background about how to score points. Eventually, you guys will get into leagues where it's 16 alliances that are in one bracket, and obviously it's kind of like the Sweet 16 from college basketball, the championship, the tournament, where it's playoffs. You win, you're in, you lose, you're out. Right now, there's 4 people that have won twice, which is our alliance, and 3 others, and we're currently facing another one that has won twice as well, which happens to be Haps. This isn't super important for now. I'm just going to go over the basics of what VS is. So I already touched on how it works, why it happens. I didn't really touch on how it works, so I'll kind of go over that right this second. It literally just, it's at random. So for example, your first week where it's in server, it's basing you off of somebody or an alliance that is similar to your power, and they try to do that pretty much as long as they can, but eventually it just becomes hard to match you up against an alliance similar because you've gone through most people that are in the same bracket as you. So as I said, a couple more things of note before we really jump into how you can maximize your points is that you should be maximizing your points when it matches up with double dip time. Now what that means is, yes, I have 24 hours to do all of this stuff here. I have 24 hours to use construction speedups or building power or upgrading my buildings, dispatching trucks or secret tasks. But this one right here, these two are pretty important to look at because the construction speedup and building power, I also get points for in my arms race. Now arms race only lasts 4 hours. So in this particular instance, this started at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 16 hours after recess. So I waited 16 hours to really score any points for my VS because I can maximize my points for my arms race and my VS. Now, the reason you want to wait until your arms race aligns with your VS is because eventually everybody will get Warzone Duel. And once you have Warzone Duel, you get points for winning your VS, points for being the Alliance VS MVP, you get points for winning your arms race, so on and so forth. So it's pretty important to actually try to maximize the amount of points that you're scoring for both arms race and VS, and you want to have them overlap. Now, I say my example is because each server is different in that you might have a different time that your double dip happens. So for day 2, my double dip happens at 1 p.m. for base expansion. However, your base expansion double dip time might be at 3 a.m. your time. It does make a difference, and make sure that you're paying attention to when your double dip time actually is. The last thing of note is that the second you have Alliance VS unlocked and you're actually going through and getting your boxes, which I'll go over in just a minute, you're going to want to start doing this Alliance VS tech tree. This one right here, Alliance Duel. You're going to want to try to maximize these. You're going to want to try to get as many points. You want these all to say max by the time you're done with this. Obviously, getting down to 7 through 9 is more important than maxing everything beforehand. So just do what you have to do to get to the bottom and then come back and work your way through through getting these all to max. I know that sounds weird, but for an example here, I haven't done my training yet. So if I upgrade this tech one time, I get an extra 5% more points towards my Alliance VS for training units. So right now I might get 100 points for upgrading my units, but now afterwards, after I upgrade this, I'll get 105 points for upgrading my troops. The more you and everybody else in your alliance has these maxed out or higher rated, the easier and better you guys are going to score more points day in and day out. Some people think that tech day is harder, so having your incentive research up pretty much to max makes your life a bit easier when it comes to actually scoring for tech day. So for example, I might get 25 points for increasing tech power by 1 point, but somebody who doesn't have it maxed may only get 5. So for every tech that we're doing, I'm getting an extra 20 points per power. And if that's 100,000 power that I'm gaining from doing tech, that's an extra 2 million points. So you can see how important it is to make sure that your Alliance VS tech tree is up and maxed out, at least in my opinion. Maybe not completely maxed, but getting a lot of this done. Finally, after all that, we're going to actually go into what you should do to maximize your points day in and day out. So obviously, you guys are all listening to me when I say that you're waiting until double dip time to actually use this stuff. Pay attention or ask somebody within your alliance or server what double dip time is if I didn't do a good enough job explaining it, and ask them what time it is for you and your server, and then you can go ham. I don't care what you do. But regardless, day 1 is using 1 stamina. So obviously we know that you get stamina from doing just about anything in the game. So if you want to fight Doom Elites right here and you click rally, it tells you exactly how much stamina it uses at the bottom. I know it gets cut off on my video over here, but for right now it says 20 stamina is what I use. So if I get 600 points per stamina usage, then 20 stamina would be 12,000 points. Stamina does actually bleed over into your drone boost during arms race, so try to maximize your stamina usage during your drone boost time anyway. Second thing is completing radar tasks. This one's kind of important for you guys to remember because this does happen a few times a week. Obviously, we all know what a radar task is. You come over to the radar, this little exactly what it looks like, a radar, and click on it, and now you'll have your radar tasks here, and you'll want to click on these to complete it, and you'll earn points that way. However, this one's unique in that it happens 3 days a week, so 3 of your 6 VS days, you get points for using your radar tasks. Now, in order to maximize those, you typically want to take the day in between of those 2 days off. So day 1, you get points for using radar tasks, and day 3, you get points for radar tasks, but you don't get any for day 2. Now, what that means is on day 2, over here on your radar, you should be doing your tasks, but not collecting them. You may be asking, well, that's confusing. What do you mean by that? Well, as you'll see, some of these tasks have little red dots, and if they have little red dots, that means the second you click them, you complete them, just like this. Now, what that happens is, if you have tasks up here in the top left, you'll see that more pop up onto your screen. Now, what happens is if you do these tasks, you click go, you click help, now you're going to go do that task really quickly on your radar, and you're going to come back, and now it's going to have a little red dot. Do not click it again on your day off. Obviously, for day 1, you would click the red dot, but on day 2, do not click the red dot. Do not claim it. Do the radar, but do not claim it. Same thing with this one. You'll do the radar, then you'll come back. You'll wait for that to finish. There goes my little guy across my screen right there. And once it's done, it'll pop up with a little red dot, just like it did now, and do not click on it again. You will save these until day 3. And if you noticed ever, you'll see in the top left how many you have. So I have 11 extras behind these, and I can hold up to 35 extra. Always keep it 1 below the max, because otherwise you won't be getting new radar tasks. You'll see I have 11 radar tasks being restored in about an hour and a half. And if this were at 35 out of 35, it wouldn't be making new tasks, nor would I be able to hold new tasks. So always keep it at 34 out of 35. And if you see that you're going to have a new bunch come right before reset, then obviously do the amount of tasks before it resets. So for example, if you have 24 out of 25 and it says you have 8 more tasks coming in 5 minutes, but resets in 10, make sure that you're doing 8 tasks to keep it at 16 out of 25. That way it refreshes, keeps you at 24 out of 25, and then you can still have the max amount of tasks at reset. I know that's a bit confusing, but I really needed to touch on that, and it's kind of important for everybody to know that radars are the most important thing for you to keep in mind. Regardless, day 1 also has Hero EXP. Now, you won't ever really use Hero XP in day 1. You shouldn't have to unless it is an absolute emergency or your leadership tells you to. The reason for that is because we do have Hero Day on day 4, which also uses Hero EXP. And that day is typically a lot more higher scoring than any other day of the week. So you want to save your Hero EXP for Hero Day. That way you can score high with everybody else. Again, use at your your own discretion. I don't recommend doing this unless you absolutely need to because you don't have drone parts or drone data. Anyway, you come down here to drone battle data and drone parts. You'll go over to your drone, and obviously for every time you level up your drone, you're using data or parts. That is obviously what you want to do. Now, this is very important that you guys realize. So I just went over pretty much all of what day one is, except there is one more thing, that if you're gathering at resource tiles like here or here, you do get points for that. It's not a whole lot of points. I don't do it just because I don't really care enough to do it. But if you want the extra points, you're more than welcome to. This is very important that you guys remember this. Day one is drone day. That's what I like to call it. It says radar expansion or whatever it is, but I call it drone day because that's what you get the most points from. Now, I will upgrade my drone on drone day. I will use just enough to get my max amount of points, and then I will save the rest for next week. And yes, you heard me correctly, next week. You do not want to be upgrading your drone on a non-drone day. So if your drone day happens on Monday, you shouldn't be upgrading your drone on Thursday. You shouldn't be upgrading it on Friday. You shouldn't even be upgrading it on Sunday or Tuesday. You should only be strictly upgrading it on those Mondays. Not only does that help you maximize your points for that week, but it also helps you maximize your point for the next week afterwards as well. Because it's not going to be easy every week to gain the stuff that you need in order to score your 7.2 million if you have all 9 boxes. And this goes pretty much in and out for everything else too. This is a very vital, important thing to remember. You do not want to be using anything for that entire week unless it is for that specific day. So that's pretty much day one up in everything that you need to know. Obviously, I said gather food, iron, or gold. You get points for that as well. And obviously buying packs containing diamonds, 1 diamond equals 30 points. This happens every day. And if you're not spending money, which is what I'm trying to make these videos more geared towards, it doesn't even make a difference anyway. Day one becomes a bit harder later on once your drone is at a high level like mine is, where especially at every 5 levels where you use drone parts. Don't forget to check out my drone video right up above. It's pretty helpful. But for me, it's pretty hard. Right now, I can come up with the data to level my drone, but I won't have the parts. So I'm waiting and I'm only doing 1 level or enough to get my 7.2 million weekly until the next week. Self-control, self-control, self-control. That is the main thing I can teach you. It sucks. It's horrific to wait. I hate waiting myself, especially for Hero Day, but it is so important, and it will pay off in the long term if you wait, because you will get more rewards over a longer period of time. Anyway, we'll move on to day 2. Day 2 is base expansion, and we're currently in day 2. Now, as I mentioned, you should be waiting for double dip time, and it's actually, at this moment as we're speaking, double dip time for me. It is base building, so I get points for increasing building power and construction. And it's also what I get points here for. So these top 2, using construction speedups and increasing building power. So obviously using speedups is going to get you points, just like this. You'll watch it pop up on my screen right here at the top. It'll be 6250. That's my arms race right there, the little badge. And this is obviously my VS score. So if I continue to use it, you'll see that it pops up here. And now my arms race is complete. My arms race is maxed, but it doesn't actually max out because I can still continue to score more points. And obviously I would hope that I can win this arms race so I can help my Warzone Duel over here, but we all know that that's not always going to be the case. Regardless, what this one right here means by increased building power is it's not when you start to upgrade a building, it is when you finish the upgrade of a building. So bigger buildings give you more power, meaning more points. So your HQ, tech center, tank center, walls, your barracks, that stuff, that gets you more points. Your stuff like gold mines and wheat farms, it doesn't get you a whole lot of points, but they are nice to use as an absolute emergency. So I'll give you guys an example. I already showed you how it works. I need to finish my tech center for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use as many of these building speedups as I possibly can, which I'm going to use all of it that I have. And then on top of that, I'm also going to use some of these universals. I have been saving my universals for a good reason, because I've been trying to save it for my tech. I have 37 days, and I would like to specifically use it to upgrade my tech. However, I'm going to use it to upgrade my tech center just for the purpose of this video. I'm going to max out this entire thing just like that, confirm, I don't care. So now that this is done, you'll watch. If I click on it, just like this, you'll see that score pop up at the top. I just gained 57,000 power from upgrading that building. Obviously, you get 25 points in my instance for increasing your building power by 1 point. So that is exactly what you should be doing on day 2. you should be waiting for your double dip time. There's a couple of other things. This will also be happening throughout the week. Dispatch UR trade truck one time and perform UR secret tasks. What that means is that your trucks, when you send them out, should only be orange, 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 because you get points for sending trucks out, but they have to be UR, which is orange. And same thing with secret tasks. These are pretty self-explanatory. You're going to want to send out nothing but orange tasks. You're going to get a butt ton of points just from doing those two. And that's pretty much how you can secure your VS 7.2 million points. The last thing that you can do for day 2 is just recruiting survivors. So if you go to your little survivor recruitment tavern, you can just recruit these for some free and easy points. It's not a whole lot, but it does add up at the end of the day. Day 3 is Age of Science. Now, day 3 is actually kind of a tricky thing for a lot of people. This typically becomes known as the harder day for everybody, free to play or heavy spenders, because it is harder to earn points. Now, just like with building speed ups, you do get points for using research speed ups here. Now, I want to clarify one thing I haven't even touched on yet, is that research or building or military speed ups, all of these can also be known as common or universal speed ups. The universals act as these if you're using them on this day. Increasing your tech power is literally the exact same thing as a building power. Once you finish a tech research for that day, you get points or you get power for upgrading that tech research. And obviously, when that happens, you get points for that. It's pretty simple. This one's a bit trickier. Use Valor badges, use 1 Valor badge, and you get 600 points. So if you use 100 Valor badges, you're getting 60,000 points. If you use 1,000, you're getting 600,000 points, so on and so forth. Now, the reason this is tricky is because a lot of the times, people will use their Valor badges all throughout the week because they want to keep their tech going, which is rightfully so. You should be keeping your tech going all week. However, what you should be doing is trying to save all of your Valor badges to specifically use on tech day. I have 10,000, so I'll use all of them tomorrow on my tech day. What I'm going to be doing all week while I'm waiting to use my Valor badges on tech days, I'm going to be doing other things such as Hero or Squad 1 or Eunice or Development. Go watch my tech video if you're curious about what you should be doing. And that's pretty much kind of the dumbed down version of what you should be doing come Age of Science Day. We already talked about what you should be doing for radar tasks, and since day 3 or tech day is a day that you should be doing radar tasks, you would go through and try to claim all of these now. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be clicking on all these, claiming them, getting the scores for it, and then obviously when day 4 comes around of day of VS, which happens to be Train Heroes Day, you're going to be saving those again. You're going to be doing them, getting the red dot, do not claim them on day 4. That's pretty much day 3 wrapped up, except for one last thing, which is drone component chests. Now, I already talked about drones before in my drone video. If you haven't already watched that, you should. But drone component chests you earn throughout the week from doing just about anything and everything that you can think of. They're incredibly easy to earn and they get you free and easy points. It's nice. And you're just going to wait to open these until tech day. I don't know why that they decided to do this for tech day and why they didn't just include this on the first day, which is typically known as drone day, but you'd only want to open these on your tech day. Day 4 is Train Heroes. Pretty self-explanatory. You're going to want to try to recruit heroes. You're going to want to level your heroes up, and you're going to want to do everything hero related. I'm going to reiterate this again for the 5th time throughout the video. If it's not for that day, do not spend it. So you should only be spending your hero stuff on day 4 of Hero Day. Do not be upgrading your heroes. Do not be leveling up your heroes. Do not be unlocking your heroes any other day of the week except for Hero Day. Now, Hero Day is often the highest scoring day throughout VS, week in and week out for everybody, because it is so easy to come by these points. If you're not maxing your points for Hero Day, then there's probably a problem. Perform 1 hero recruitment. Just like the Survivor, you're just going to try to recruit a hero. So you'll just go to your Recruit Heroes tab and you'll recruit heroes using tickets. That's pretty much all you have to do for that. Quick and easy points, simple, not a whole lot, but it does add up again. Use at least 660 hero EXP. As we talked about earlier in the video, you should have this because you shouldn't have spent it on day 1 unless directed otherwise by your leadership team. But these 3 things are kind of important to realize. A lot of the times what happens throughout the week is people are like, oh, I can upgrade my hero. And so they do, using shards. Shards are these beautiful puzzle pieces that you get, whether it be this for that specific character or universals, they're all shards. Now, if your hero is ready to be upgraded, it'll have a little green arrow down here saying, upgrade me, upgrade me, upgrade me. It's screaming at you. It's hard not to click that button. I get it, but you should wait until Hero Day to do it. And then what you're going to be doing is you're going to click on your hero, you're going to tier, and then you're going to click upgrade, upgrade, upgrade if you can. So like this, I have 200 universals almost, and I could definitely upgrade her to complete 5 stars right now, but I'm waiting until my hero day to do so. And that's the same thing with all these heroes. Upgrading all of these heroes uses 3 different types of shards, and it's pretty self-explanatory that the main way to gain points is just by tiering up your heroes on hero day. This one's a bit interesting. Skill medals. Use 1 skill medal. Now, a lot of people may not actually know how to do skill medals, and I will drop a hero video in the future about what you should be using skill medals on. But if you were curious about what they are, if you click on any hero of your choice, so I'll click on Carly and you click on skills here, every time you upgrade one of these, it is using skill medals and you'll get points for that. Again, you should be saving these strictly for hero day. If you didn't know about it, you probably are sitting on a bunch of these. And it may seem like it gets you far, but after like level 10, it becomes expensive to level these up. So you might have 400,000 and be like, oh, wow, that's great. It'll get you 20 levels. It's not a whole lot, but the points from it are nice and they all add up. That's pretty much everything for hero day. It is by far, in a way, the easiest and simplest day of the week, easiest for you to score points, and easiest for everybody to understand because it's just upgrading your heroes in any way possible. Day 5 is total mobilization. Now this one's kind of a hit or miss. It really just does depend. We'll go over it. So radar tasks, I'm not going to touch on for the 3rd time. Just go back and watch my first 2 times if you didn't already. You get points for doing that. Then you get points for using construction, research, and training speed up. So you might think, oh wow, this is great. You get points from using so much and doing so much. But you shouldn't be using construction or research for this day, and you should be focusing strictly on the training aspect of this day. Now, as I said earlier, as an absolute last resort, you can refer to these. You can use your construction and research speed ups, but I don't recommend doing that. And I recommend trying to focus solely on getting all of your points through training speed up. Now you may be asking yourself, well, my drill grounds are full, and how do I get rid of troops so I can train new troops? Well, there's a couple of ways. You can reach out to somebody in your server or out of your server to hit you, or if you're participating in Warzone Duel or your fight day, which is day 6, we'll get into in just a little bit, your drill grounds shouldn't be full anyway. If they are, as I said, just reach out to somebody that can hit you. So reach out to your whale in your server and be like, hey, can you hit my base a couple of times to kill some troops? There's always ways to kill troops, and you can find out how to do that. Just ask around and you'll figure that out. But once your drill grounds are empty, what you're going to be doing is trying to obviously train troops. This is fun. This is where everything gets spicy and interesting. And the reason I said in one of my last videos is that you want to upgrade your barracks and have them waterfalled. I'm not a great example right now because mine are a little bit out of whack because I'm getting ready for T10 troops. But typically what I would do is I would have this at level 17, I would have this at 20, I would have this at 24, and I would have this one at level 27. If you have a level 17 barracks, it allows you to train level 6 troops. Now what I would do all week long, and I mean this all week long, I would train nothing but level 6s all week long in all 4 of my barracks. Come training day, what I would do is I would then go to my barracks, I would click on training, click here, you'll see there's a little green arrow, and now my drill grounds are full and everything, so I can't really do much, but there would be a little green upgrade button over here, and you would obviously upgrade them. Now, upgrading them gets you the same amount of points as it would be training them brand new, and the reason I say that you train level 6s all week is because then each different barracks you can train level 7s, level 8s, and level 9s, so you're getting 4 points for the cost of 1. It uses the same amount of speed ups and the same amount of resources to upgrade a troop from level 6 to level 9 as it costs to just make a level 9 troop. The waterfall method is awfully effective in making sure that you're maximizing your points. Because as I said, it takes the same amount of time of speed ups and the same amount of resources, but you get points for every unit that you upgrade. So if you're upgrading to level 7, you get 184. If you're upgrading to level 8, you get 207. And if you're upgrading to level 9, you get 230. So if you have a batch of level 6 troops and you're training them or you're upgrading them all the way up to level 9, you're going to get almost triple the amount of points because you're upgrading it 3 separate times instead of just going straight to level 9. If you have 500 troops and you're going straight to level 9, you're only going to get 230 points per troop. But if you have a level 6 and you're going up to level 9 and you take your time going to level 7 to level 8 to level 9, all of these combined, you'll be getting around 620 points per level instead of just 230. So you can see why the waterfall method is incredibly effective. Now again, mine's a little bit out of whack because I'm training for T10, so I'm sorry I'm not a great example right now, but that's what you're going to be doing. And I'm sure there's probably a video somewhere on the YouTube, or I can make a little video talking about the waterfall method and showing you guys how it works, but it is pretty important to help your VS score that you do waterfall. So now that you know how to maximize your points for day 6, that's pretty much everything that you can do. And we'll finally move on to day 7. Sorry, I don't know why I said day 6 multiple times. That's day 5. Total mobilization is day 5. Day 6 is enemy buster. And we're finally here to the interesting part. So day 6 is kind of just a conglomerate of everything that has already happened throughout the week. You get points for literally everything. It's a huge list. The only thing that you don't get points for is radars, which isn't that big of a deal. Obviously, points from UR trucks and UR secret tasks. I'm not going to go over it again because I already did. Same thing with construction, research, and training speeds. New is the healing speed up because you're going to be trying to heal your troops as you're fighting. And you get points for every different level of troop that you kill. So if your opponent or your 1v1 or you're killing somebody's base and they have level 8 troops, you're going to get 100,000 points just for killing 1,000 level 8 troops. The stronger level troops that they have, the more points you're going to get. And same thing, you're going to get points for just killing other people's troops. Now I say your opponent because in this specific example, we are going to be facing Haps come fight day. We get all of these nice juicy points for killing their troops if we kill them. But if they're too strong or you're too scared, you technically do get points from killing anybody in that war zone. So they're 1792. What I'll do is I'll teleport over to 1792. And if Haps is too strong or they bubbled up, I can just go around the outside of the map, killing people's troops, trying to get points. It's essentially a fifth of the points. So a level 10, if you kill it within your arrival alliance, which happens to be Haps for me, I get 126 points. But if I'm facing anybody else and I kill a level 10 troop and they're not in Haps alliance, then I only get 25 points. So it's more effective to obviously just kill your own VS opponent. Regardless of all of that, if you lose troops, you also get points for that. So every troop that gets killed, you get points for. It's not a whole lot, so obviously you would prefer to do the killing instead of getting killed. Those are all the ways that you can score points on day 6. It seems like a lot, and reading this can be pretty overwhelming, but this is essentially you just get points for every different level of troops killed, and obviously the higher level troop, the more points you earn. You should be trying to focus solely on your VS opponent, so in this instance, again, Haps, but or as a last measure, you can kill technically anybody out of your server to score points. I gotta clarify out of server because I do not want to be the reason that you guys go attacking your own server and causing a civil war. Never, never, never attack your own server. You should have a nap in place and your server needs to be as healthy as possible because having a healthy server means winning events and not fighting each other for all the time. I have seen both a healthy server and a toxic server, and I can tell you it is so much better being part of a healthy server. But I just want to be real with you guys and explain that VS is very, very important. You should be doing your absolute best week in and week out to win, but you should also try to be prioritizing your personal rewards. The difference between winning and losing in VS isn't that big of a deal when it comes to rewards because it's not a lot. However, making sure that you're securing all of your boxes week in and week out, so all of your little rewards here, that you get nice stuff out of. This is more important than actually winning the VS. As corny and as stupid as that sounds, that's the cold hard truth. And for people that say winning VS is more important than securing your boxes long term, they're just wrong. Even for this example, once you get to leagues and you start winning or you start losing, so just for example, we're in gold tier for Alliance League. The difference between winning and losing the week is 5 of each different type of resource chests and 200 Valor badges and 500 diamonds. It's really just not a huge deal. Obviously, winning your VS is important and definitely helps you because once you get to diamond tier, the rewards are very nice. Even gold tier compared to silver tier is very nice. You do want to still win your VS, but it shouldn't be your sole focus. You shouldn't be dumping 30 million points one week to try to secure a victory, and then next week you're struggling to even score your 7 million. Everything in moderation. This is the core key to life. This is the huge part, even in out of the game. Everything in moderation is important. So really quickly, before I finish off this video, I do have a question. I have thought about this for a little bit of time, and I've thought about making a new account, so a very minimal spending account. So I wouldn't actually try on that account, but I would spend enough and I would kind of give you guys a walkthrough guide about what you should be doing when you're starting a new account or as a fresh player. I've thought about this because I was thinking about content ideas for Last War. I'm curious to know what you guys think I should be doing next or as another sub-series. There's plenty of tutorials I'm going to be dropping as we go forward, but I do want to kind of have a different phase of content as well to help you guys break up the monotony of just learning, and then you guys get to see how I would do it starting fresh. That's my current idea. Let me know if you guys think otherwise or what you guys think I should be doing in the comments below. Thank you guys all so much for your support and your love. I will see you all in the next video. Jelly out.